Good morning to everyone. So in this class we are going to discuss about the subject water harvesting and conservation. In that one first unit, origin, occurrence and movement of the groundwater. So this total unit deals about the groundwater, how it is originated, and the occurrence, how it is occurred, and the movement of the groundwater in surface of the earth and subsurface of the earth, both in surface of the earth and subsurface of the earth. So in this unit, in this class, particularly in this class, we are going to discuss about the introduction to the groundwater and the sources of the groundwater, how the groundwater is occurred, the sources, based upon the sources. And next one is hydrogeological cycle. Hydrogeological cycle is also termed as hydrological cycle. That name is very well known to you. And another topic is infiltration and how the factors are affecting the infiltration capacity of soil. So let's start with the introduction to the groundwater. So groundwater, by seeing this image itself, you can easily predict that groundwater is nothing but the water which is present below the earth surface, nothing but subsurface of the earth. So normally the groundwater is the water which accumulates from underground. Groundwater is the water which accumulates from the underground. It may exist in spaces between loose particles of dirt and rock, or in cracks. By seeing this image, you can see that this is a rock and this is a gravel. The water which is filled in the spaces between these loose particles of dirt and rock, or cracks, etc., cracks or crevice in the rocks, etc., that water is termed as the groundwater, which is accumulated from the subsurface of the earth, So it is also defined, or it is also termed as or named as the water that occurs below the surface of the earth. So it occupies all or some part of void spaces in soils or geological strata. So geological strata is nothing but the earth strata which is presented below the earth surface. So in that different strata, the part of the void spaces or all parts of the layers filled with water is termed as groundwater. So it is also known as subsurface water. It is also termed as the subsurface water because it is presented below the earth surface. The water which is presented above the earth surface is termed as surface water, and the water which is presented below the earth surface is termed as subsurface water. So which is found in large bodies. It is found in large bodies like oceans or lakes, which overflows through the overland in streams, The type of water is termed as groundwater or subsurface water. So both surface water and subsurface water are related through hydrological cycle. So hydrological cycle is nothing but the continuous passage of the water from earth to the atmospheric system. From earth to its atmospheric system is termed as hydrological cycle, which will be explained in detail in the next coming slides. So this is the groundwater, the difference between the surface water and the subsurface water. And it's coming to the source of the groundwater. So for originating the groundwater, different water sources can be used or can be originated. Different water sources are originated. So based upon that one, water received on the surface of the earth from different sources will become groundwater. When it will become groundwater means when it undergoes after passing through the pores of permeable rocks or soil. So when water undergoes into the subsurface, nothing but which infiltrates into that surface, then that water is termed as groundwater. So for this one, the main source of groundwater is nothing but rainfall. So rainfall is also termed as precipitation. We already know that rainfall is also termed as precipitation. So after the rainfall, it infiltrates through seepage. Slowly into the earth and collects in some layer and collects in some layer where there is no permeable layer. Where there is no permeable layer, in that portion the water will be collected. So it is also known as plutonic water. So for all this, groundwater is an important part of water cycle, nothing but hydrological cycle. It includes that part of the surface and atmospheric water undergoes through rainfall, rivers and lakes. So the main sources of the groundwater are meteoric water, connate water, juvenile or magmatic water, and condensational water. So let's discuss about meteoric water. So it is the main, let's discuss about this one, meteoric water. So it is the main source of groundwater which is received in the form of rain and snow. This meteoric water is received in the form of the rain and snow. So this water infiltrates into the surface through fissures, pores and joints of the rock. Fissures are nothing but roots of the plants. Pores means holes, and joints of the rocks. If any rock is broken, that broken joints, through the broken joints also water will be passed. So it infiltrates into the fissures, pores and joints of the rocks till it is stored on non-permeable layer. In the non-permeable layer in the form of groundwater. So it originates in the atmosphere. This water originates in the atmosphere, falls as precipitation, nothing but rainfall, falls as rainfall, and percolates through the soil to become groundwater. So this type of water is known as meteoric water. Whereas coming to the second one, connate water. So connate water, it is contained in pores and cavities of sedimentary rocks. We already know that different types of rocks are present in the earth. In that one, mainly natural formed rocks are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Whereas this connate water is contained in pores and cavities of sedimentary rocks, which is presented under seas and lakes. So it is also called sediment water. We can also call as sediment water. So it is a second important source of the groundwater. So this water is entrapped, means this water is filled in the interstices of sedimentary and volcanic rocks. Interstices of sedimentary and volcanic rocks at the time of deposition. So when a lava or magma occurred, the deposition of rocks will be takes place. In that time, the interstices means the gaps which is presented in the sedimentary or volcanic rocks. In that one, water will be trapped. That water is termed as connate water. So it is highly mineralized and salty. And it won't mix with meteoric water. So this connate water is usually found deep down in the lower layers of the zone of saturation. So this is nothing but the connate water. Whereas coming to the third one, juvenile or magmatic water. The name itself can tell that hot magma enters rocks due to volcanic action. Hot magma. In the presence of hot, we already know that in hot, vapor will be generated in terms of heat. And condensed into the earth's surface and converted into water. So hot magma means in terms of vapor, hot vapor, nothing but what we call a sweat. Sweat is generating for us due to hot temperature. That sweat is converted into the water and enters into the subsurface of the earth, and it becomes a groundwater. So that type of water is known as magmatic water. So apart from it, other sources are also there for which again the water becomes the groundwater. The mainly other sources available are springs, wells and geysers. Geysers already know that in our bathroom itself we are providing the geysers. Based upon that geyser heat, vapor will be formed, and that vapor is again converted into the water. So such water is considered to have been generated in interior of the earth. In the interior of the earth also, due to the temperature, vapor will be presented. That vapor is condensed and converted into water and stored in the subsurface of the earth. So this type of water is known as juvenile or magmatic water. Whereas coming to fourth one, condensational water. Condensational water. This water is mainly particularly from the areas of desert and semi-desert. This water is mainly from the areas of desert and semi-deserts. So where precipitation is very less and evaporation is more. So we all know that in deserts more temperature will be occurred, and due to that more temperature, precipitation is very less. Precipitation means rainfall is very less and evaporation is more. In such region, there is groundwater at particular depth below the surface. There is groundwater at particular depth below the surface. So that water definitely will be occurred, and it is believed from the following reason. The reason is the moist air at the surface of the earth is always warmer than the air of the soil. So the surface the surface air of the soil is different with moist air in the surface of the earth. Above the earth and on the earth, there is some difference, warm difference between the air presented in the soil and air presented in the above the earth surface. Due to that difference, there exists a pressure difference between water vapor in the atmosphere and the soil. So due to that pressure gradient, water vapor from the atmosphere generated and penetrates through the rocks and the soils and converted into the water through condensation when the temperature falls. So this is the reason. It may lead to the accumulation of certain amount of water in rocks, mainly in arid and desert regions. So these are the major sources of the groundwater. Nothing but first one is meteoric water, connate water, juvenile or condensational water. So you have listened how it is originated from different sources. So let's get into the next topic, hydrological cycle. We already know that hydrological cycle, it is nothing but it is a continuous process. Here I had mentioned here, it is a continuous process of exchange of water from earth surface to the atmosphere or atmosphere to the earth surface, vice versa also, due to the influence of solar radiation or solar heat. So by seeing this figure, you can easily get a overall view of the hydrological cycle. So it is a closed system where the water gets transformed either from one place to the other or from one form to the other form under the action of heat or sun heat. Whatever the process in this one, here different processes are transpiration, evaporation, runoff, and condensation, precipitation, example infiltration, etc. These are the different processes that the water transferred from one place to the another place, from one form to the another form. So let's discuss about in detail about the different sources, different processes or the stages present in the hydrological cycle. So different stages are evaporation, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, transpiration, runoff, and storage. So let's discuss each and every one in detail. So let's coming to the first one, evaporation. So evaporation is nothing but based upon this figure, evaporation is occurring here. Evaporation is nothing but based upon the name itself, you can get an idea. The water evaporation occurs when physical state of the water is changed from liquid to gaseous state. The water present in this river is transferred from liquid to gaseous state. It occurs when temperature is very high. At that time, the water will be evaporated to the atmosphere. So typically for this one, solar radiation and other factors such as air temperature, water vapor, wind and atmospheric pressure affects the amount of natural evaporation that takes place in any geographic area. That in any geographic area means in any part of the earth, in any part of the earth, based upon these factors only, nothing but air temperature, vapor pressure, wind, atmospheric pressure, etc., the amount of natural evaporation takes place. So evaporation can occurs on, it may occurs on different things, nothing but raindrops or any free water surfaces such as seas and lakes. Whenever the rain is falling, on the raindrops itself only evaporation can take place, or any free water surfaces such as seas, etc. Here we had taken one sea as example. This is as sea, we had taken it as example. Here evaporation is occurring, nothing but the evaporation means nothing but the water is changed its state from liquid state to the gaseous state and it enters into the atmosphere. So there is also evaporation caused by human activities. Human activities, nothing but heated buildings or etc. Even moisture which is made by the human activities. Moisture, heated buildings means nothing but the material which is gets heated due to the air temperature, nothing but atmospheric temperature. Due to that, heat will be produced and experience the evaporation of water settled on its surfaces. So even moisture is lifted into the atmosphere from oceans, land surfaces and water bodies as water vapor. So it can even occur on the vegetation. Vegetation means nothing but on plants, soil, rocks and snow. In this one, the water settled on vegetation, soil, rocks and snow, evaporation will be occur. So this is nothing but evaporation. Whereas the next one, condensation. Condensation is here. This condensation is the process by which water vapor changes its physical state, nothing but a vapor state, to a liquid. Vapor state means here condensation occurs in the clouds only. So based upon that clouds, in that clouds the water is present in terms of vapor and it is converted into liquid and falls as a rain, nothing but precipitation. So it condenses into small airborne particles in the form of dew. Dew is nothing but you already know that dew. And fog means manchu, means fog or clouds. So the most active particles that form clouds are sea salts, atmospheric ions which is caused by lightning, and combustion of products which is containing sulfurous and nitrous acids. Sulfurous and nitrous acids. So this condensation is about by cooling of air or by increasing the amount of vapor in the air to its saturation point. So through this process, the water which is presented in the clouds is converted into liquid and falls as a rain and enters into the earth surface. So this process is known as condensation. Whereas coming to second one, next one, precipitation. Precipitation is nothing but rain and snow. Here this is nothing but, so precipitation is the process that occurs when any and all forms of water particles which falls from the atmosphere, any and all forms of water particles which falls from the atmosphere and reaches the ground, that process is termed as precipitation. So all liquid and solid water particles that fall from clouds and reach the ground. We all know liquid water particles will fall in the form of liquid, and solid water particles also will be formed as ice cubes from the clouds itself. So that fall from the clouds and reaches the ground. So these particles include drizzle, rain, snow pellets, ice crystals and hail. ice crystals and hail. So a form of water such as rain, snow or sleet condenses from the atmosphere, becomes too heavy to remain suspended and falls into the earth's surface. In the cloud itself, a form of water such as rain, snow that condenses from the atmosphere. It condenses and becomes heavy to remain in that cloud and falls to the earth as rain. So it occurs in different atmospheric conditions in different forms of precipitation. So this is nothing but precipitation. Whereas coming to next one, infiltration. Infiltration occurs in the surface of the earth here and here. Infiltration occurs in the surface of the earth. So it is a physical process involving movement of water through upper area of the earth where the atmosphere interfaces with the soil. Here in this one, this is the layer which is in which atmosphere interfaces with the soil with that different temperature. The surface phenomena is governed by soil surface conditions. So in this layer, as rain falls, the water transferred to the earth surface, below the earth surface, based upon some properties, nothing but porosity of the soil. Porosity means pores, how much of pores, nothing but holes present in the soil, and permeability of the soil profile. Permeability means passage of water through a particular medium. Here we are taking soil as a particular medium, and passage of the water is different in different types of the soils. So typically this infiltration depends mainly on impact of the raindrops, texture, nothing but shape and structure of the soil. So the decreasing water concentration also makes a prominent role in this one. So these are the factors. Mainly depends upon the mainly surface puddling of the water also is also one of the case. So permeability of the soil profile depends on mainly different factors, nothing but impacts of the raindrops, texture of the soil, structure of the soil, initial soil moisture content, etc. So water that is infiltrated and is stored in the soil can also become the water that later is evapotranspirated or becomes subsurface runoff. It can also evapotranspirated. Evapotranspiration means nothing but the water present in the leaves can be evaporated into the atmosphere and falls as a rain, nothing but precipitation, and is again from the ground surface. The trees and vegetation takes water from the ground surface itself. That is known as evapotranspiration. So this is nothing but infiltration. Whereas coming to the next one, transpiration. This transpiration is nothing but the biological process that occurs mostly in the day. So water present inside the plants is transferred from the plant to the atmosphere as water vapor. Water present in the plants is transferred from the plant to the atmosphere as water vapor. So this water, based upon this water vapor, the water enters into the atmosphere. So in this one, leaves undergoing rapid transpiration. Nothing but tree leaves undergoing rapid transpiration. So it is greatly affected by species of plants that are in soil and is strongly affected by amount of light to which plants are exposed. So it can be transferred freely by water can be transferred freely by plants until a water deficit develops. Water deficit means decrease in water content occur in the plant, and water releasing cells, nothing but stomata in the plant, begin to close. If stomata is exposed means water will be transferred easily, or it is closed means water cannot be transferred. So this this transpiration continues at a very much slower rate, very slow rate in the plants. So this is nothing but transpiration. Whereas coming to next one, runoff. This runoff is occurred here and here also runoff, and wherever the water is passing. from higher gradient to the lower gradient, runoff will be occurred. So runoff is nothing but a flow from a drainage basin or watershed that appears in the surface streams. You can easily tell that the water passing on a earth stream is can be termed as a runoff. So it generally consists the flow that is unaffected by artificial diversions. It generally consists of the flow that is unaffected by artificial diversions, storages, or the society might have a stream channel. The society might have a stream channel. So the flow is made up partly of precipitation that falls directly on the stream. It is made up by partly of precipitation that falls directly on the stream, surface runoff that flows over the land surface runoff that flows through the land surface. Here, based upon this rain, nothing but precipitation that falls directly on the stream. This is the stream that falls directly on the stream, or surface runoff that flows over the land surface. This is here. This one is termed as this one here. This area is termed as surface runoff, and it flows over the land surface and through channels. Subsurface runoff also takes place. Here in this subsurface also difference in level occurs, and water particles travels from high head to the low head. So subsurface runoff that infiltrates the surface soils and moves laterally towards the stream, and groundwater runoff from deep percolation through soil horizons. So these are the forms of runoff presented in the daily activities. Whereas coming to the last one, storage. So there are three basic locations of water storage that occurs in the water cycle. First one is nothing but water is stored in the atmosphere. Here, the water is stored in the atmosphere. Second one, water is stored in the surface of the earth. Water is stored in the surface of the earth, nothing but here. In terms of ice, water is stored in the surface of the earth, and water is stored in the ground, nothing but stored in the lakes and rivers. Here, three types of storages. First one, water is present in the atmosphere, and water is present in the surface. Surface will comes under storage in vegetation on soil, and storage in the form of ice comes into the water is stored in the surface, and water is stored in the ground. So water stored in the atmosphere can be moved relatively quickly from one part of the planet to another part of the planet. So this type of storage occurs on land surface and under the ground, which is largely depend on geological features. Which is related to, we can tell, the type of the soil or type of the rocks present in the storage locations. So storage occurs as surface storage. Storage occurs as surface storage in the form of oceans, lakes, reservoirs, and glaciers. So these are the different forms of the storages, and with this topic I will conclude the class. And in the next class the further topics can be explained for the first unit of water harvesting and conservation. So thank you for today. Thank you.